Going back to school after leaving the military is very tough. It's such a big change from what you're used to. Waking up at, I don't know, 5 a.m., working, being in the military, following a bunch of rules, and all of a sudden, you're free. You can do absolutely whatever you want to do, and you probably haven't had a break in a really long time. And a lot of people, when they leave the military, they take a long break where they do absolutely nothing for 1 month, 2 months. All of a sudden, it's been a year, 2 years, and you're still living on your mom's couch, or you haven't done anything. And a lot of people really mess themselves up by doing that. I know it's very tempting to be like, hey, I want to take a break. I've been serving for 4+ years or whatever. But that's one of the worst things you can do for yourself, is to take a long break. And it's a big reality check. Having all of this freedom versus being in the military where you're told when and where, what to do, what to wear. A lot of people can't handle it. And to be honest, I wanted to take a break. I did want to take a break and do absolutely nothing, but I knew that if I did that for a long time, I'd I'd be a bum, literally. So before I even separated from the military, I applied to my local community college, just so that I could have a plan. Like I left the military in November of 2021, and by February 2025, I was in school, community college, complete 180 from being in the military. So it's a big change, and a lot of people they can fall into bouts of sadness, depression. All of a sudden your life completely changes, and it was a bit rough at first because you're used to the way things were before, and now all of a sudden, like I said, there's a ton of freedom. You do absolutely whatever you want to do. Nobody's telling on you, getting you in trouble for not going to school or showing up or whatever. And this is a common thing, I think a lot of veterans fall into. There's a lot of homeless veterans, and honestly, I don't really know what we should do, but I think for me, if I didn't start going to school or doing something, like, excuse me, if as soon as you leave the military, if you don't have a plan, you're screwed. You need to have something booked like within a month or two after you get out. Because for me, if I didn't do anything, I definitely could have seen myself getting very depressed and just not good. So I knew for me, I had to do something, and that's what keeps you busy. So being busy was a way for me not to, fall into a deep depression from leaving the military. And like I said, having this freedom is really nice. It's what I wanted, because I felt like the military is. It's the military. You're signing up for the military, so there's gonna be a lot of rules and regulations. And personally, I didn't like a lot of them, so I left. And it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand you have a ton of freedom, and then on the other you don't really have much. But at the same time, having too much freedom, a lot of people don't know what to do. And everyone is so concerned with their own lives that no one's gonna come help you, help you adjust to being a normal person now. This is all up to you. And unfortunately, that's the reality of it. If you're not mentally capable of adjusting, it's gonna be more rough for you compared to if you prepared. But there's like some weird things that people don't really talk about. Like, so after being in the military, I served 4 years. I was 22 when I went to community college. And you're older. Obviously, you're going to be older than everybody. You're right. You'll be one of the oldest people in the room. It's community college, so you kind of get everybody. But if you go into like a university, you will definitely be the oldest person in the room. And the mindsets of the people around you are going to be very different. Like, they're worried about frat parties, and I'm worrying about how I can maximize the GI Bill, or how I can pay bills that month. You know, you're gonna be, I don't want to say kids, because yeah, they're kids. You're gonna be surrounded by children. And honestly, a lot of the times I was like, man, what am I doing here? I went to an in-person class for one semester, and I was surrounded by like 18, 19 year olds, and I was looking around, just sitting in the back of the class, like, oh man, like that. I'm a lot older than everybody in here, and obviously, our priorities aren't going to be the same. So that's a little interesting tidbit about going to school late, or but I mean, it comes with the territory, and you'll feel like, personally, I felt like I was a little bit behind compared to everybody else from high school. Like, everyone else got degrees by the time I started college, or they were, getting there, about done with school by the time I started. So I felt like I was really behind everybody else, but I've come to realize that everyone's on their own time frame. It really doesn't matter. Like, you'll just realize that your life is on a different time frame than everyone else's, and that comes with just getting older, and realizing and prioritizing different things. When I was younger, like, I really cared about what other people thought of me, and the older I get, man, I don't give a fuck, and that is very true. So you'll probably realize that at some point. But it is challenging going back to school. Like, it's hard. Studying is very difficult for me. It's very challenging for me to actually just sit there and try to comprehend something that I don't really care about that much for hours at a time, to like get a okay. I'm in a program right now for something that I'm interested in, right? I was in community college working towards a degree, and then I got into my physical therapist assistant program. I'm talking about the community college right now. PTA, like, I really enjoy what I'm doing. This is great. But community college, regular college courses, your, like, what do they call it? Your GAs, your general admission courses. Man, they are completely useless. They're so boring. Everybody's using ChatGPT to type essays, to do homework. The dude next to me is cheating on every single quiz, looking up at his phone. Like, it's a joke. Regular GA classes are a joke. They're a complete waste of time, but you just have to do them to fill college requirements. And man, I just hate regular courses. But once you can take, like, your interesting courses, like, I don't know, for me, anatomy and physiology is what I really like. Like, classes such as history, English, math. God, don't even get me started about math. Literally every math class, I haven't used fucking 99% of what I have learned in statistics, algebra 2, geometry. Gone. Useless. Complete waste of time. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So honestly, cheat, use ChatGPT, do whatever, because it's a complete waste of time. You're not going to use 99% of it anyway. So whatever you can do to get a passing grade, that is what you do. And then you move on, and hopefully your upper courses will be more interesting and about something you actually want to learn. But yeah, I mean, the reality is it's very challenging if you don't have a plan, if you don't adjusting to normal life. This isn't even like just about going back to school, but just about leaving the military in general is pretty difficult. I enjoyed how comfortable I was, the 1st and the 15th, with my paychecks, living in Las Vegas. It was a nice life. I didn't have to leave, but I knew I wanted to. And going back to school, it was a bit rough, but I mean, I'm here now. I'm used to it by now. I've been out for like 3 years, 4 years. I don't even know. But you're going to be older than a lot of people. It's going to be challenging. Everything's going to be new. You're going to have to learn Canvas. Oh, don't even get me started about Canvas. Discussion boards, discussion posts, having to reply to like 2 people and meet like a character word requirement is one of the worst things that's ever happened in the history of the human race. Nobody reads those posts. I'm putting it all in the ChatGPT. I do not care. Give me my grade. Give me my passing grade. That's how I feel about that. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a lot. I don't know. Let me know if you're a veteran going back to school, or maybe you're just older going back to school, and let me know the challenges that you've had. Maybe how difficult it has been for you, or maybe it hasn't been that bad, and I'm just a complaining little bitch. So maybe that's the case. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. If you like this video, I've got more military videos on the channel. Check those out. Hope you have a great day. Peace.